good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Team YouTube music. In the United States in 2024, we're seeing a lot of African American women rise to high ranks in political offices. In Atlanta, we have a district attorney by the name of Fannie Willis in Fulton County. In that same Fulton County, there is a city commissioner by the name of Natalie Hall. We all know in Philadelphia, there is now a new mayor, Sherelle Parker. And then also we have Tiffany Henyard out in Dalton, Illinois. And then in New Orleans, Latoya Cantrell. This is actually a great thing in general because these groups of people who were excluded from politics are now able to participate. And that goes for Black women and Black men. And I think a lot of people are inspired to see so many African Americans getting their shot in political office. But today we're talking about a large city in Florida, Orlando. Many of you have heard of it. Was also a commissioner of the city by the name of Regina Hill, who's under fire for doing something very shady. But before we get into that, Regina Hill has a pretty interesting history in the city of Orlando. At the time, 5 years ago, she was making $60,000 a month, but got exposed for living in low-income housing.
Tonight, News 6 investigates a complaint leveled against Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill. Now in the hands of the state attorney's office, the complaint claims Hill lives in a low-income apartment complex, even though she makes more than $60,000 a year as a commissioner. News 6 reporter Eric Sandoval got a hold of that complaint for us tonight. Eric, what did you find out about this?
Well, Matt, we found out that this complaint was actually filed by a family member of one of Regina Hill's biggest political rivals this election season, just a couple days before election. Lawana Gelser tells me this isn't about politics, though. She says she is concerned that Orlando residents are not only paying Hill's salary, they may also be helping her pay her rent. Timberleaf Boulevard is located inside the Landing at Timberleaf Apartments, a complex of 240 units for low-income families. And this is the address Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill put on her forms to run for re-election. According to the complex's owner, the most a resident can make in order to qualify to live there is $39,000 a year, and that's for a 4-bedroom apartment. A complaint filed with the state attorney's office this week asks how Hill is allowed to live there if she's making $60,000 a year as a city commissioner. It asks for an investigation into whether she's renting illegally. The complaint includes a copy of the subsidized lease agreement for the unit she says she lives in. It shows she pays $644 a month in rent. And if you look closely, it's missing Hill's name. She's not on the lease. Instead, there's a notarized letter from another woman, which reads, Hill has resided in the home with her since December of 2015, after her daughter's death.
Hi, Ms. Hill.
We called Commissioner Hill to ask her if she could help us add all this up.
We are following a story about a complaint that was...
Hill interrupted me, saying the complaint was nothing more than a smear campaign.
What do you have to say to allegations that you're living in subsidized housing and you make more than $60,000 a year?
She told me, I am working for the residents of Orlando, and that's all I have to say about this.
Then she got drunk one night, passed out in a penthouse. Booty clapping sounds! She was so belligerent, the fire department had to come in and get her. She failed to cooperate with the fire department when the fireman started to record the interaction. She got upset and got this man fired. Well, he got his job back. Let's see what happened.
New at 11, an Orlando firefighter gets his job back. Joshua Granata was fired 2 years ago after recording audio during a medical incident.
Now, that incident involved Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill. Today, a federal mediator ruled Granata should not have lost his job. News 6's Eric Sandoval is live in Orlando for us tonight. So, Eric, what is Granata saying about this?
Well, first of all, Matt, that federal mediator not only said that he needs to return to the job, he also ordered the city to pay him back pay for the last 2 years. Now, Granata didn't want to talk about this tonight, but the woman who he was tending to that night, City Commissioner Regina Hill, told us that she's very upset.
It's almost like a double slap in the face.
Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill says a federal mediator made the wrong decision today. Fire investigators say it was August 2017 when Orlando firefighter Joshua Granata responded to the Doubletree Hotel near Universal Studios. They say he and his colleagues found the commissioner on the floor of a penthouse suite with empty liquor bottles in the room. They say she became belligerent, and that's when Granata says he decided to record the audio on his cell phone.
Yeah, I wanted to protect all of us on scene from what I heard and what I saw.
The city of Orlando terminated Granata. The firefighters union appealed. Now, nearly 2 years later, a federal mediator has sided with Granata, reinstating his employment, ordering the city to pay him back pay, minus 240 hours for breaking a department rule that bars any recording during calls.
It's okay to break the law and illegally record someone, a private citizen at the time, because I was not in any commissioner's capacity. I was a private citizen.
Hill says this isn't over.
I will be looking into this further to see what rights do I still have as a victim, because victims have rights also.
Of course, she didn't want to take any accountability for being a drunk bia and causing problems. But she's been investigated many times as the city commissioner. This next thing that Regina Hill is accused of will shock you. I know you don't believe me. Let's find out what she did.
First, though, a 96-year-old woman cheated out of thousands of dollars, and News 6 has uncovered investigators believe Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill may be involved in this. This is News 6 at 5. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigators believe Regina Hill used that money to treat herself to a facelift, a trip to Miami, and more. Now, that woman's attorneys are fighting to keep Hill away from her and her money. News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval spoke to Commissioner Hill today about the allegations.
We found out the Florida Department of Law Enforcement was actually tipped off about this last year by a former aide of Regina Hill's who was fired from her job. They've spent the last year looking into this, and they tell us their investigation isn't over yet.
News 6 got a hold of these investigative documents that claim, among other things, Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill fraudulently established power of attorney over a 96-year-old woman. Investigators say that power of attorney allowed her to secure a mortgage in the woman's name and co-purchase this home in the Lake Man Estates area of Orlando without the woman even knowing about it. They say Hill then allowed her son and his girlfriend to live in it. They also claim Hill moved into this house about a mile away in the Washington Shores neighborhood that was once owned by the elderly woman's parents. They claim Hill used the woman's money to renovate the inside and didn't pay rent. FDLE investigators also claim that Hill used more than $100,000 of the woman's cash and credit cards to purchase things for herself, like expensive perfume, clothing, IV vitamins, a facelift, a New Year's Eve trip to Miami, car insurance, and dental surgery. Now, the woman is fighting back. Her attorneys filed court papers seeking to keep Hill away from the woman's finances and her property. And an Orange County judge approved a temporary injunction last week.
That's right. Allegedly, Regina Hill used this money from a 96-year-old woman to get a facelift, vitamin infusions, dental surgery, buying a house in the lady's names, perfumes, clothes. You know she had to get some sandals. And then letting her son and his girlfriend live in the house. My fear is that that lady that she used was most likely black. Now, why am I talking about this? Currently, she is not criminally charged in the connection of the case, but I'm assuming that she will. And my problem is with Regina Hill is, why is she still in office? I mean, I'm pretty sure there are more people in the black community that would be able to do this job. But for whatever reason, Regina Hill and others continue to be able to do whatever they want to do in the government all the time. And it's just ridiculous. How often can you continue to use people? Can you lie? Can you cheat? Do whatever you want without fear of retribution? And what happens is that these people feel like they can just do whatever they want. And you know what? Well, they can do whatever they want. It's not that they feel, they can do whatever they want. And that's something that we don't talk about. And the thing is that what's happening in Black America, with the inability to criticize what's going on, it just makes it worse for the whole entire city. We have so much unaccountability coming from our community that when we have people from our community that come into the public sector or the private sector, at certain points, they start to do things that don't sometimes make sense. And then what it does, it puts a cast on our community as if everybody is like that. Well, that's not necessarily fair, okay? Because yes, I get it, whites can do it too. I get it, whites can be corrupt. But the thing about it is that when you're the city commissioner and you have a high profile and you are looking at getting other African Americans into your situation, ain't nobody looking at the fact that what the whites are doing. They're looking at the fact about what you're doing and why are you having problems. You see, that's how people look at it. Why are you having those problems? You're having those problems. We don't know why, all right? And we always see it coming from, African Americans that are Democrats. It always happens, So guys, what do you think? Should she be locked up? Should she lose her job? Or are these just allegations? So guys, it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Junk. Put your fire, you just heard the bell. We're out.